I am in live. I think so. I'm not really sure. Looks like yes or not. I'm not really sure. Yes, in live. Okay. I'm trying to do this because in this way it looks like easier than record the video and drop the video everywhere. So it's easier to do the live video and after that try to share it in another platform. So I just have I was having this conversation with my friends. Just decided to try to add a little more to the conversation. Just give me a minute to share this because I'm totally in this stuff about new live videos. So just give me a minute. Let me try to share this in my profile. That I'm not really sure how this really works. Yes, I think I'm not really sure, but I think. So let me do with you a little exercise. Breathe very deep and remember when you were a child, or were, I'm not really sure of the word. When you was a child, every time that you want something and you was a very child, you remember that you probably start crying, doing noise, and your mother and your father and your sisters and brothers, you have it, they was very bothered. No, you was bothering. They were mad or angry with you. That is what happens, correct? That happens when you were a children. Every time that you want something and you don't receive it, immediately you make a little scandal. You storm off. You do a tantrum. This is what children does. Usually, this is what children does. I am a more patient person because I have the gorgeous, the magnificent, the marvelous, the sacred, the unique opportunity to grow up being the uncle, the cool uncle, the daddy uncle of two nephews with autism. Because my nephews are autistic persons, I am a more patient person. When you see these discussions, these very empty and superficial and nonsense discussions on social media about how new witches are acting, this is a little airplane passing around. When you see these empty superficial discussions about it, about how new witches are acting, how they are working, how they are projecting us in front of the rest of the world and blah 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 blah, remember that most of the times these persons are not adults. They are younger than you, younger than me. Everybody is younger than me. Remember that they are younger people and they are discovering magic, they are discovering sorcery, they are discovering witchcraft. And when they are starting to discover all of this magnificent magical world that is so connected like a spider web, you're starting to read about magic. This turns you on ceremonial magic, this turns you on Kabbalah. Kabbalah is very related with Jewish magic, and this turns you on read about Egyptian magic, about Greek magic, about Minoic, about very old traditions, African traditions, Afro-Caribbean magic, orishas, sorcery, witchcraft, brujeria, voodoo, all of this is related in the end. And you are just trying to go up in the same tree that everyone else, but you are just watching from a different branch. Every time that you are just taking or picking a tradition, you are just taking a different branch. And we are all in the same tree. We are all in the same planet, in the same earth. when you see this discussion happening over and over, it's important to remember that first, how was you feeling when you're starting in this path? I don't have absolutely any shame or trouble to repeat over and over that I come from a very abusive family, I come from a very abusive background, and blah blah blah. If I learned something in the process, is that when you are throwing people over and over, and you are trying to throw people like bread for the dog over and over publicly, they will start to act in that way. When you are judging or questioning the traditions, the word, and the ways how people act and react publicly, especially these new witches, and you are doing publicly, the less that you can wait is that when they find finally a voice, they will do the same with you. Because the new witches, these new people in the path, they will be one day, you like it or not, if they continue in the path, they will be the elders for another generation. You need to remember that, because all of us, including me, including you, we are just passing through. We are just here temporary, for a little time, for a little short time. Air is very old. Pachamama is older than you can think. And we just live like 60, 70 years or something like that. So it's very important, remember, that when you're questioning these persons, they will react. With the time, they will act exactly like you act with them when they were coming out in the path of magic. That is very important to remember. When I was children, I act how I act. I speak how I speak. I walk how I walk. That my fathers don't feel that I was being the very masculine figure that I was expecting for. They practically threw me in the military school. I was 4 years in the military school, and that was boring, was frustrating, and was 4 years of physical, mental, and emotional abuse constantly, over and over, day by day, hour by hour, the 7 days of the week, without rest, without any moment of rest for all the week. They literally threw me in that school. After that, being a very frustrated person, I had the opportunity to be transferred to a different school. When I was the new one in the new school, obviously the bullies guys tried to bully me because I was the new one. I was the new meat there, so everybody wanted to pick up on me, and I was the new one. I don't speak the language very well. My Spanish always was a little weird, and they were speaking me so much. I was coming from a military school. I was coming from 4 years of constant abuse in my home and also in the school, and I was coming from 6 months of therapy, studying a new school with new people, with a new uniform, with now you're the new one, so you need to act and you need to adapt to them. Feels incredibly weird. In the educational system, we know that in any country really works well. We just throw people there and we assume that all of them are learning and acting the same way, and we forget that everybody is different. For example, I am more an introvert person. And when I was there and this bully was picking me up, one of my friends of all life, who also is straight, he was the person who defended me. Now, almost 30 years later, he continued being my best friend. What I remember of all of this experience is the bullies are everywhere. To be honest, I don't remember their names, but I remember, and I always speak with my best friend, I remember him. I remember who was the person who in the hand and let me know, oh, you are doing this in a bad way, they are assuming this, they attack you for this. It's important to remember that when you are picking up on all of these new witches and you are attacking them, they will react in any moment. You need to be more patient with them. I'm not saying that you need to treat them like children, because that is a very big mistake. You need to act with children like they are children. You need to act with adults like they are adults. A very big mistake that we do in society is that we always assume that the children need to mature very fast, and we try to treat the children like they are adults. And we are always like, you need to read the news, you need to let the toys, you need to dress in this way, you need to walk in this way, you need to start speaking this way. We are always treating children like they were adults, and they are not. With these new witches, or I don't like the term baby witches, I really don't enjoy it. I think that is offensive. I think that feels weird, and I know this for experience. When I come to the United States, without speaking the language, I'm from a different background, and I see that everybody here is so academic. Everybody here is... North American witchcraft is essentially based on collection of books. If you don't read this book, you are not a witch. I don't care if you practice, I don't care if you know something, I don't care if you are a medium, I don't care if you pass 10, 20, 30 years of practice, I don't care if you are initiated in one or another path, but if you read the books, for me you are a witch. This is essentially North American witchcraft. Essentially, I'm not saying that that feels like that, especially when you are an outsider. When you are coming from outside, everybody's like, you read this book, all these very superficial conversations are based on, do you follow this author, do you read this book, do you read Gerald Garner, do you read Raymond Bookland, do you read this another guy, this another white guy, this another white England guy, this another white American guy, this another white American person, or sometimes a white American woman, one of each 10 conversations. And it's just about the books, about if you read them, about how you question the books, about how you support, or what do you learn from this author or from the another one. Nobody speaks about how many rituals you do, which one's your first ritual, how do you feel doing this magic, how when you try this ritual, do you feel something, you listen something, you watch something. When you craft a circle with your friends and you are doing the ritual, do you feel the breeze around? Do you feel this change of the air? Oh, I'm working with this plant for 20 years and I know that it works in this way, but not in this way like I learned that this should work. These are the kind of conversations that people avoid because they don't have experience on the field. When you are speaking with these neo witches or new sorcerers or conjurer or magician or mage or whatever is the term that you prefer to use, because here the people is everything about weird labels. It's everything about labels because they think that you are just a piece of meat and they put a label on there. And they change the label over and over because it's more important has a label for strangers that really do the practice, apparently, that really learn and work in the craft. When you are picking up on all of these new or neo witches, you need to remember that you are giving the example, and they will remember how you train them. They will remember how do you act in front of them. They will remember every word that you say. They will remember if you support them or not. And in one moment in the future, if you continue in the path, you probably will be an elder, because for some reason everybody wants to be an elder, but nobody really knows what is an elder. Everybody has a different perception of that. They will say stories about you. After some time, you will not be here in the planet, not physically, and these new witches will be the new elders. They will lead a new generation. And the most important is that they will exactly to remember what they learned from you. Your kindness, your angriness, your support, your questions, your attitude, your weirdness, your uniqueness, your copycat actions, your whatever you do is what they will remember. Exactly that. And that's the blueprint that you are letting in the world when you are a magical worker, a magic worker, a magic maker, a practitioner, a follower of the craft. It's important to remember to act in a patient way, be tolerant with them, be patient with them. Remember how it was when you started in the craft, how frustrating it was. For me, this started 4 years ago, nor 29 years ago with my first initiation. This started 4 years ago when I arrived in the United States with a total different background, and here the people is very academic. People is, do you read this book? How do you know that you are a witch or a bruja if you don't read this book? How do you know about this if you don't read this? How do you learn? You just take classes, you just learn from classes, you just learn from the practice. That's so weird. You don't read this book. Which books do you have? It's very academic. That's good in many ways. The problem is when it's just academic and it's not practice. That's the problem. That's the problem that when you are having 12 years of studying and reading medicine books, but you are not applying. So you are not really a doctor. You are just a constant student. The another problem is when the people just read one magazine of medicine that they find in the hard way, and they read the magazine and they consider themselves as doctors, and they are saying to everybody that they are doctors, and they are not. They are not graduated, they don't study medicine. That's the same thing that happens here. So when this new, which is try for a moment to do this exercise and try to put yourself in the shoes of this person. They go to a store for any reason, for problems, for because something is happening in their lives, something good, or something bad, or they just receive an inner call. We are not here to judge that. We are not here for that. Any of us, including myself, is qualified to judge that. Anyone. And when they find a bookstore, or a medical store, or a esoteric bookshop, or a botanica, and they go there and they find these books, crystals, herbs, oils, and all of this romance about magic, and they starting to study, and they starting to make questions. Don't care what is the age that they have. Every time that you're starting a new path, you are practically children, and you will act like that. You will act exactly following the 7 ages of the human. In metaphysics, which says that 7 is a magical number for 7 reasons, and one of them is that we have 7 ages in humanity before being in your prime. That is really metaphysical aspect. When you are a very old person, you divide your age in 7 states. And they will start in the 7th state. They will start being a baby, being surprised for everything. They will start to find the books, and this is conjuring what it is, or this is Santeria what it is, or this is Wicca what it is, or this is something very cool, very nice called hoodoo. That is not voodoo, it's hoodoo. It's entirely, this is voodoo with an N in there, and this is entirely different. It's like this, but it's different, so I want to read. They will be like babies, they want to take everything. Then they will evolve a little and they will be children. They will start to choose the color, to choose the preference, to choose the path. I feel more comfortable with this, I like this. I don't want this. And they starting to throw tantrums. That is very natural because we are humans and we always will act in the same way, like humans. Don't expect something different. And they will act like children, and they, you think that I can't do this, that I can't take this practice because I know what's initiated. They will throw a tantrum, and maybe many times you have the reason, but this don't give you the permission to act like a bad person, because I don't like to use bad language. But I have many words in my mind that I could use here. you can act like a bad person and insulting them and offend them and question them in public and trying to make shame of them in public. This is not healthy. Healthy people never throw others in public. Never. It's a sign of mental health and it's a sign of maturity. I can make my tantrums, but I don't go to say names. I can make my tantrums constantly like a good Capricorn in my home, not in public. Then they will evolve from the second age and they will be the younger ones. They will be in this age like adolescents. They will be starting to act like, I know everything, I am a rebel. So it's this age when the new magician is starting to discover the attraction for voodoo, for black or dark magic, depending on the cultural context of the country where you are. In the United States, black magic is racist. In Latin America, dark magic is different from black magic, so we say black magic to refer to dark magic, that is dark magic in the United States, depending on the cultural context of the country where you are. And they were starting to feel like rebels. They want to try to be the bad guy, they want to be the leader, they don't want to be now the follower, they don't want to be the student, they want to be the master, they want to know everything, and they want to act like, I know everything. And you ask questions and they answer and respond very, very fast to you. They don't care the time. They are like looking for labels. They want to identify themselves, and they're starting to throw all the labels over themselves. They are like, oh, I am a witch, a mystic, a magician, I am a voodoo practitioner, I was initiated on this and was initiated on that. That is a problematic time for them because they are moving so fast that they started to find traditions and want to be initiated in every tradition that they find in their path, and they just receive the initiation. Some months after that, I don't want to be there, so I want to move to this another tradition, and they start into the second one, and they are initiated, and they love the tradition, and they speak so well about this tradition. After some months, they are like, oh, but the other tradition in the past, that where I was doing practice and learning, that was better, so I prefer to go there. Or look for another one, and they're starting to have initiations everywhere, and they learn from everyone, but they don't find a correct path because when you're starting, because they don't have fear to have mistakes, just like children's don't make mistakes. A children never made a mistake because children always act from their learning, and you can judge the learning of a children because it's a children, it's a stage of humanity. After some time, this path is starting to feel more comfortable, and these persons in the path will starting to move to maturity. Maturity is where you are starting to feel like, I find this tradition, I find this path, I want to be initiated here, I want to stay here. They are starting to feel comfortable, and at the same time they are starting to question themselves. That is maturity. That's where they are like, if I continue jumping from tradition to tradition, or from book to book, or from label to label, people don't go to take me seriously, so I need to act in a different way, I need to reserve a little more, I need to focus on this, I need to focus on that, and they are starting judging the new ones. And this is the continuous cycle, because we are humans and we make mistakes. Not children, they are children, they don't make mistakes, but adults, we make mistakes constantly, and it's a lot of ego there, it's a lot of narcissism there. And when they are starting in this new path, it's very normal that they will feel very confused, because when you start, and I passed for this recently, 4 years ago, when I come to almost 6 years, when I come to the United States, because the community here is a little more diverse and integrated in many ways than the Latin American community. And when you come here, you're starting to feel like everybody's picking up on you, everybody wants you in their side, and you see the elders, but the elders, most of them don't speak between each other, and all the communities, like a well experimental we call community, and the community is really stable, sustained over 4 or 5 little factions, and these little factions, most of them are leaders for white men, so it's white men factions here, another white men factions here, another white men faction here, another one here, and everybody's picking on you, and if you don't take this side, you are against everybody else. If you take this another side, you are against this other side. And you have people attacking you, you have people bullying you. This is how it feels for these new persons coming to the path, coming to the witchcraft. For these new witches, wherever is their age, when they come out, they're starting to read the books, they're starting to buy the crystal, they're starting to buy the herbs and taking classes and assisting to events. And after that, after some time, when they're starting to feel like I can come out, literally, I can come out of the closet, and they come from the broom's closet and they say publicly, I am a witch, or I am a magician, or I am a sorcerer, or I am whatever is the label that they choose. Whatever is the label that you choose, someone will to say that you can use that label. Remember that. So don't care. When they finally come out and they have this label and they are working on that, for one side, they have these old people, because it feels like that, the old witches who has 10, 20, 30, 40 years of experience, and they are like, you are doing everything wrong, you are doing everything bad, you are a bad representation for our community, everything that you say is wrong. Maybe they have reasons, but you need to remember that they are acting like children, because in the path they are doing the cycle, the human cycle. They are children. So easy like that. It's not really difficult to remember. It's not really difficult to understand. They are children. They can have 50 or 60 or 75 years, but they are new witches. They will act like children because psychologically is the correct. They are surprising themselves with everything. They want to do everything, and you need to act with tolerance, with equality, with support, with understanding. Not judge them, trying to be confident with them, trying to trust them, trying to let them make some mistakes. And don't be arrogant. It's incredibly important. And for one side, they have all of these people attacking them, constantly attacking them, and you are doing everything wrong, you are a mistake, this is a mistake, you don't know what are you doing. And it feels like your dads and like your mom and your dad, every time that they come to tell you that you're doing something wrong. Because you don't know, because you're so young, so you don't know. This feels like that. For the other side, they have a lot of people trying to teaching them, trying to support them, trying to give them a hand. And for the other side, they find another group of people like them, the outsiders, because they are the new ones, and they were bullied recently, and they were attacked recently, and they will feel like these people is attacking me. These are the old ones. These are the grandpas in the community. These other ones are supporting me. Maybe they just want something from me. Maybe they just want me in their side. But these people, they have some months or some years more than me, so they know a little. They know who really support, who really attack, who is really just for convenience. So let me move, let me die in this place, let me die a little in this conflictive water, and find my little group, my little tribe, that people who is vibing in the same frequency than me, that people who has the same traumas or experience than me, the people who identify. This go to always happens. And they will grow up, and they will mature together, and they will create new covens and new groups and new traditions. We know that now you create something, any practice of magic, and we call tradition, but it's not a tradition. Because it's not old, it's not a tradition, it's not. And these new witches will feel in that way. They are in a little triangle, so for one side it has the old witches attacking me and bullying me, for the other side it has these other old witches supporting me, but maybe some of them just are for convenience, they want me in their side, and for the other side these are the other outsiders like me, so let me move with them, let me try to learn with them, let me try to unify to their group, let me try to do a group with them, let me try to create a little community there, because I want to be out of these people. This is how they go to feel, because they are the younger guys in the school. They are the younger guys between the bullies, between the popular guys, and they are like trying to find a way. They are just diving in the place. You need to remember that. We need to be more tolerant and judge less. If you see that someone is doing mistakes publicly, in social media, in Facebook, Instagram, any other social media that you use, and they are doing mistakes, don't attack them. Don't do that. You never see a grandpa or your grandma attacking you. They attack your fathers for every mistake that you do. Is like, you see, this is your mistake. It's not the children, because the children don't do mistakes. It's your mistake, like father or mother. You are doing something wrong. Because grandpas understand better, because they pass for that most of the times. So yeah, sometimes we need to be the grandpa. Sometimes we need to just sit down and see the children that they are playing, and we know that they go to fall, and we just stay in silence, and we stay there in the corner, and when they come, we say, oh, what happens? You fall? Because you was running so much fast. What do you learn? That you can run fast. Okay, that's nice. You are a smart guy, you are a smart girl, you are a smart person. Okay, continue, go to play. Let them learn from their mistakes. Be tolerant, be patient. Don't try to put them in your side just for convenience, because they will remember. Try to be tolerant, try to be patient, try to, don't focus on being the father, don't focus on put them in your side, don't focus on that, let them find their side. I have many students who many times I find like, you have 2 or 3 years learning from me, but I think that your path is this different way. You feel more connected with that, you feel more related with that, you feel more attracted to that, maybe you have an inner call on that. That is not my area of expertise. So I need to put outside my ego and say, was nice to teach you, but I think that this other person can qualify more or better for what you are looking for. Not thinking my convenience. It's important to remember all of that when we are speaking with the new generations, because one day some of us will be around the elders. I never will be an elder, but we will be around of the new elders, and others of these children and new witches and new pagans from the new generation, they will be the elders, and they will remember you. It's important to remember that. If you see a person who has 20 or 30 years of experience and they are doing these egocentric, egomaniac mistakes in public, yeah, that's bad, because they are adults and they are doing mistakes. But when you see someone who has 2 or 3 years on the path of magic, just let them make mistakes. Just give advice. When they feel confident, they will come to you. I learned this also in the difficult way, because many times I was like, all of these people is wrong. When I never see videos on YouTube about witchcraft and magic before come to the United States. Maybe just because the horrible connection that we have on internet in Brazil and Venezuela, or maybe because I know what's interesting I never look for. But when I come here and I see that everybody is a YouTuber, I was in that moment, oh, this is wrong. I think that people shouldn't be doing that. But it's okay, I don't say it publicly, I just think, I don't like it. But they are children, just let them continue doing their mistake. Then I grow up, and I learn, oh, I like the format, it's video, people feel more comfortable, it's easier than drive for hours and do edition, and it's better. So maybe this is a good way to teach. I learned that. I learned that from the younger generation of witches. Remember that you will learn a lot from them if you let them speak, if you let them find a voice. They are on TikTok, it's okay. I'm not looking to stay in TikTok because I feel like a very new club that I really don't know everyone there. I feel like I will be a grandpa watching the children dancing with a new music that I really don't understand. I feel in that way, so I give them their space. Because also feels very weird when you see people of your own age trying to, or older than you, trying to act like younger people. Like, I need to be in this club because everyone who is someone is in there. I need to listen to this music because everyone who is someone is listening to this music. No, stay with your generation. If you're younger, okay, do it, but no, don't do it just to fit. Don't do it. Feels weird. Every time that I see someone of my age on these other platforms that are for younger people, not all the time it feels good. Sometimes people is really teaching, other times they are just calling the attention. Feels like something about their own esteem. Feels a little weird. Feels like they are really looking for attention. Feels in that way. I don't know if I'm expressing good about it. Give them their space. Let them learn. Did you see that a new platform comes out and all the new generation of witches are there? Let them learn. Let them make their mistakes. With the time they will come to you and they will ask you for advice. Don't come giving you advices that nobody asks. Don't come judging people and speaking bad about them because you are not doing really any good job. You are just attacking them in public, so they don't go to learn. They just go to throw away themselves, and they will be a distance from you and they will try to don't learn about you. And when you come finally after some time with advices for them, they will say, no, I remember that you attacked me in the past, so I don't have anything to learn from you. That is exactly what happens. So this was what I was really trying to say. Let me see if I can download the video. If I can do it, I will put the video in my YouTube channel, and that's very nice. Platforms are really well for this. Because sometimes you have something in your mind and you are like, oh, I should speak about it, and you are in silence in your home working, and this is something nice. So nothing else to say. Stay safe, stay well, be kind, be supportive, be tolerant, and stay well. Don't judge anyone, and remember that whatever other people say about you is not really about you. It's about the strange, weird image that they have about you in their minds. It's not about you. Remember that. Bye and have a marvelous weekend.